Brethren, the story of a great recovery. Part 1, England and Wales. Chapter 27. Shanklin, Isle of Wight. The first recorded gathering to the name of the Lord in Shanklin, Isle of Wight, followed the simple pattern so frequently met with in these pages. It was in his own home, early in the year 1881, that William Brown, his wife and a few friends, began to break bread. They were shortly afterwards joined by others, and by the end of the year it was found necessary to remove to a large lecture room over a grocer's shop. There was already an assembly at Ryde, a few miles across the island, from which the little company received much spiritual help and sustenance. At some revival services held in the Congregational Church, large numbers professed faith in Christ, and this in a measure was the means of augmenting the already growing assembly, for many who sought spiritual guidance were led into the light and liberty found in the soul-satisfying experience of New Testament teaching. James Wight, of Bristol, was visiting Shanklin during this time of blessing, and had the joy of witnessing the baptism of 20 believers, to whom he afterwards ministered those truths so dear to the child of God. 4 months later, 16 others publicly confessed Christ in the waters of baptism. In the year following, several other believers were baptized. Among them was Lieutenant Host, who afterwards became prominently associated with the China Inland Mission. At that time he was stationed at Sandown. In 1885, a new hall, large enough to accommodate 200 persons, was built, and the work continued to prosper. Shanklin has been privileged in its association with many notable brethren who visited the island. Among those remembered because of their faithful ministry and spiritual help in the furtherance of the gospel, and in the building up of the assembly, the following may be mentioned: Lord Radstock, J. Denham Smith, Colonel Foster, Captain Mitchell, James Vickery, and Mr. Onslow. From its formation in the early 80s, the life of this assembly has been characterized by an aggressive gospel testimony, and a faithful adherence to the principles of truth. Nor have the widespread needs of the foreign field lacked a place in their sympathies, for, as an indication of the practical interest shown, the records of the Shanklin Assembly contain the names of those associated with the meeting who have gone forth as missionaries to Africa, India, China, and the West Indies.